Welcome back to Action 2 News at 5. The school board president in Wrightstown is now facing the possibility of being recalled. A petition has been circulating since mid-December by a group of people upset over recent decisions wanting a change in leadership at the very top. This also comes after the superintendent recently announced his retirement. New at 5, Emily Beyer explains the potential timeline and what's at stake.
On Sunday, the Wrightstown Community School District School Board President, Angela Hansen-Winker, sent out a press release announcing Superintendent Andy Space would be taking an early retirement, leaving the district in a little more than 2 weeks. On December 18th, a petition to recall School Board President Hansen-Winker was presented to the board clerk. On the 19th, it was presented to the district.
It's not something that's retaliation to Andy Space resigning. There had been little pieces all along the way that have kind of led up to this. So starting back, Angela was an awesome school board member, and when she became president this year, things kind of took a turn.
Jonathan Curtis lives in Wrightstown with his wife and 3 children. He says there are several reasons he feels Hansen-Winker should be removed. One of those concerns being the cost of legal fees.
We've had emails go to Angela. Angela's passed them on and said, hey, these are a lot of legal questions, and just gone straight to the lawyer. And the lawyers responded back and said, hey, by the way, the district's incurring fees for me to respond to this email. I would expect, hey, Angela, if you don't have the answers, you have a board. You have other members available. Bring it to the board, regroup, decide what you need to do. Don't just go straight to the legal counsel and incur charges to the school district.
I reached out to Hansen-Winker via email but got a kickback email due to the holiday. But she did post on her school board social media page in a statement reading in part, "At times we have to make unpopular and tough decisions, and it's not easy for anyone involved. I remain steadfast in my commitment to serve with strength, purpose, and unwavering transparency. I will continue to serve with the dedication, resilience, and integrity that have defined my work and character for years." End quote. The recall petition has already collected about 400 signatures. As of right now, organizers are still waiting on confirmation of how many signatures are necessary to trigger this recall. They have 60 days to collect those signatures. In Wrightstown, Emily Beyer, Action 2 News.